Hi, my name is Aaron Garg, and thanks for tuning in to my YouTube channel, Young Influencer. On this channel, I interview individuals in our community who are making an impact, aka Young Influencers. Today we have Karina Garg. Karina is a current medical student at Georgetown University School of Medicine, and she graduated summa cum laude from UCLA in 2022. She grew up in the suburbs of Chicago and is also my big sister. Karina, thanks so much for coming today.
Thank you, Erin. I am so excited to be on your show. Thanks for letting me join.
I'm excited for you to be here too. My first question is, when did you first know that you wanted to become a doctor?
That's a good question. I think ever since I was a child, I wanted to be a physician. It was funny when I was little, I would say I wanted to be a pediatrician, and then the next month I would say I wanted to be a surgeon. And it just kept on changing. But one thing that kept constant was that I wanted to be a doctor, wanted to be a physician. So I think that initial interest and passion started when I was really young, but I think it wasn't until got to college and I was able to have those medical experiences, those clinical experiences, working in the hospital and with patients, that I really knew that this was for me. And that's when I knew for sure that being a physician, being a doctor was the route that I wanted to pursue.
I think that's really cool that knew that you wanted to become a doctor from such a young age. My second question is, what does it take to become a doctor?
Yeah, so to get into medical school or to be a physician, there's a lot of years of schooling that's involved. So normally people do a 4-year undergrad degree, so you can get a bachelor's, and that takes 4 years. And then you have to do 4 years of medical school. And at that point, you have your MD, but then you have to do at least 3 years of residency. And then some physicians end up wanting to do a fellowship after that too. So it ends up being almost like 12 years of schooling to be a physician. So that's kind of like the timeline. But I think really like if you have passion for wanting to go into medicine, you have passion for helping others and giving back to your community, then I think that's one of the most important aspects, just having that drive, having that passion. It makes the schooling a lot less daunting and a lot less scary just to think about when you're very passionate about this field.
Yeah, you said that medical school was really long, so since it's so time consuming, do you still have time for your hobbies?
Yeah, it's a really good question. And I think I'm always like trying to be better at having like a work-life balance, because there is just so much studying to do and you're just trying to balance so many things. But I always try to make time for my friends, and family and doing things that I love because I think it makes me more productive when I do sit down to study, because I'm more refreshed. My mind is like ready and excited to work, because I had a break the night before or in the morning. So I do, like to spend time with friends, try new restaurants, watch TV, Netflix, also cook, work out. So I think having those, building in small things in my day that, genuinely make me happy and allow me to like have a break just makes it a lot better. Granted, some weeks are busier than others, especially during exams. But overall, I think I'm trying at least to be better with like making time for hobbies, making time for myself, because I feel like that's the only way long term that you can make sure that you're happy and fulfilled, when you're doing something that requires so much time and energy.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. My fourth question is, what was your biggest struggle on this path?
That's a good question. I think a lot of times the biggest struggle is, self-doubt. You being a physician, being a doctor, getting into this field is really difficult. And I think a lot of times you can look around at other people, who are trying to do the same thing around you, and you can start to compare yourself or start to, doubt yourself. And I think that can be really difficult. But I think just reminding yourself in those moments that, if someone else can do it, that means like there's no reason why you can't do it either. And if you are really truly passionate about something and you know this is what you want to do, like you shouldn't let self-doubt stop you. You should just believe in yourself and go for it, try, and if you fail, like that's okay, you can just try again. There's no harm in failing, quote unquote, or having to try again at something. And I think that's sometimes the biggest struggle, just, starting to lose sense of that or just starting to doubt yourself. But I think believing in yourself is probably the most biggest piece of advice that I can give someone just from like my personal experiences.
Yeah. Um, there's been many struggles, but there should also be a rewarding aspect of this, right?
Yeah, I think this field is just, it's very rewarding because when I was, picking a career and, choosing, what did I want to do every day for the rest of my life, the thought of being able to come back home and know that I helped my community, I helped somebody, that was very rewarding and fulfilling to me. I wanted to do a career where every day in my life I was working to help others, working to, make someone feel better, whether they're suffering physically or mentally. That was very rewarding and fulfilling to me, having that opportunity to serve others, to serve my community, to make other people feel better. I think that's probably the biggest reward of this all, that, you have this opportunity every day to truly make an impact in your community, in the lives of other people. Not a lot of there's not a lot of jobs that really offer that opportunity, and I think that's kind of what makes this whole process so worth it and so rewarding and so fulfilling at the end.
Yeah, I totally agree. My last question is, what piece of advice would you give people who are listening right now?
Yeah, I think kind of like going back to what I was saying earlier about believing in yourself, I think my biggest piece of advice is, if you are someone who is considering wanting to go into medicine or wanting to go into healthcare or being a physician, you know, I think a lot of times when you look at the number of years it'll take, or how competitive, or like look at the statistics of the percentages of who's getting accepted and who's not, it can be really discouraging and scary. And my biggest piece of advice is that you should always believe in yourself, and there is no reason why, you can't do it. If you really truly want to be a physician and you put your mind to it, like, you will be able to succeed. I think that's my biggest piece of advice. A lot of people do get discouraged sometimes when they think how difficult something is, but there are hundreds of students every year getting into medical school, and there is no reason why you can't be one of them if you truly put your mind to it and, are determined to make that, that goal of yours into a reality. So I think my biggest piece of advice is that if you are really considering going into medicine, you have even a little bit of an interest or passion, you know, try to explore that passion and see where that takes you, and believe in yourself along that entire process.
Thank you so much, Karina, for letting me interview you for my show. I learned a lot and hope the viewers did too. And to my viewers, thanks so much for tuning in and have a lookout for the next episode of Young Influencer. Bye.